It's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Robert Garcia. Robert, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Obviously, you've been trying to set this up for a while. I'm sure you're aware, and I'm glad we finally got you. It's a pleasure. Coming off a great victory at the weekend as well, so let's talk about that first. How impressed were you? I know you realise how talented Jesse Bam Rodriguez is, but to perform like that against, on paper, his toughest opponent at just 22 years of age.
You know what? I wasn't impressed because I already knew what Jesse could do. You know, I've been saying it since day one. You know, Jesse's probably one of the most talented fighters I've ever worked with, and he showed it last Saturday. You know, there was a lot of people telling me, why would you take this fight? It's so dangerous. You know, and the fight wasn't even a mandatory, but you know, I know what Jesse's capable of, and I know Jesse also wanted that fight, so we took it and knew that was a perfect performance.
And will he stay at that weight class now, or will he look to move back down? What's best for him?
I want him to get back down, and he agrees. I think maybe 108 we won't do that anymore. But 112, yes, for sure, we want to get down to 112. There's great champions at 112, and we're willing to travel also. If we need to travel to another country to get one of those titles, we'll be more than happy.
What's it like for you personally, leaving your stable of fighters out there in California to come over here to work with AJ?
You know what? It was difficult at first to make that decision, but you know, I have a great team. You know, my father's still involved, my son, Robert Jr., Chepe, my conditioning coach Charles Sherman. They all stayed back and they know what they're doing. I'm still on the phone with them every day, and they're doing a great job. You know, they continue doing their job. The fighters keep fighting. We have fights every weekend, and they're doing their job. You know, and we keep winning. So you know, it's not hard at all. You know, it was hard for me to leave, but now that I'm over here, it's pretty easy.
When AJ first worked in your gym and you had a chance to look at him, did you know that he was going to join you on a more permanent basis, or you know, you had a great bond from the start?
You know what? When he came to California, he did not go to my gym and train. You know, we met in Fresno in a hotel, and we just had a good conversation. I think the main thing that happened was that me and Angel Fernandez were able to get along very well. You know, Angel Fernandez, we talked very well. We exchanged numbers, and he has the same ideas, same style, same plans, same game plans that we think AJ needs. So I think that's what made the whole team decide on me, because me and Angel work very well together.
Had you watched AJ's first fight with Usyk before you had any idea that you might be working with him?
Oh, definitely. I seen it when it happened, you know, and before the fight, I honestly, you know, even though I know Usyk personally, his manager is a good friend of mine. I trained a lot of his fighters before, a few world champions, but I didn't think he could win. Honestly, before the fight, I thought Anthony Joshua was going to walk right through Usyk and beat him, but you know, obviously that surprised me, and I was happy for him. You know, I was happy for him because I know him personally and I know the team, so I was happy for them because they, you know, became a heavyweight champion of the world. You know, that's huge.
And obviously the key question, what did AJ do wrong in that fight? Why didn't he just walk through him as you'd anticipated? Obviously Usyk was better than we expected, but what did AJ do wrong?
You know, Usyk was just a better man. You know, I don't know how training camp went. You know, now that I talked to Fernandez, tells me that a lot of things went wrong, but you know, now, you know, I'm in training camp now. Now I'm doing what, you know, my job to switch things around, you know, to make sure Anthony goes in there and dominates, you know, has a dominant performance. That's what he needs to be able to win this fight.
What tools do you need to work on with him? You're not starting from scratch, of course, but to give him that dominant performance, what are the main, is it a footwork thing, is it a jab, or is it a combination of everything?
It's a little bit of everything, you know, because we don't know what Usyk's gonna bring to the table, you know. Yes, we've seen the first fight, but second fight could be totally the opposite. You know, he could fight totally different. So we're gonna be ready for different options. You know, Anthony has a great jab, great powerful jab with a straight right hand. You know, so we could focus on that too. You know, we got to focus on everything. We also got to focus on maybe putting pressure. But if that don't work, we got to use that jab. Maybe we got to use some angles. We got to be ready for different things.
Now, a few detractors talking about you and AJ's chances in this fight have said, "Oh, he's never had a heavyweight or a big name heavyweight." How do you? I mean, it seems stupid to me, but how do you respond to that?
Well, I did hear that a lot, but look, I've had champions at 105, and I also had champions at 160. So that's a big difference. We're talking about 55-pound difference. So from 160 to heavyweight, it's also a big difference. The only thing is we have to work with the fighter. On the game plan. Why? Because I'm not tall enough to hold it. Well, Fernandez is the one doing it. You know what I mean? So it's not hard. It's a challenge for me, and I love challenges. When I was told, yes, I'm working on having my first heavyweight champion of the world, but that's a big challenge for me, and I want it. He's never worked with heavyweights. That's no different than working with 105 pounders. You know what I mean? Training, we just got to train hard. We got to come up with a good game plan, and the fighter needs to want it.
So we're going to see AJ doing those little pivots, slide off the front foot.
Little things like that, will make a big difference, and people might see that in the fight.
Angel, we'll talk a minute about how you guys have bonded so quickly, but can you give us an idea of how you split the kind of duties with AJ between kind of who does what on a daily basis?
It's not really kind of like what he does, what I do. We sat down a long time ago. We put the plan together. We put the training plan, what we do each day, what we do in this part, in this part, and it's just both of us. Sometimes he's in the ring, sometimes I'm in the ropes, sometimes I'm in the ring, sometimes he's on the ropes. As long as the message is the same, it doesn't matter what takes what. He went over to America, with Jesse Rodriguez. I went over to America with Kieran. He was taking the training, then I was taking the training. So it doesn't matter really who is in there. The most important thing is we both are on the same page, and that's why it works so well.
Is this going to be a long-term partnership? A bit awkward asking you together, but
Hopefully, I did say to him, I would love to go and spend some more time, over in America with him, because I find him like a brilliant coach, and for me it's an absolute pleasure to have him here with me.
And what about you, Robert? Would you like to see this continue?
You know what? Definitely. I've already talked to one of my fighters, Jose Ramirez, who might be fighting sometime in September. So if the fight gets finalized for September, then he's gonna come and start camp over here with us. Because obviously he's a fighter that's getting ready to fight for another world title. So he's gotta get my attention. So he already wants to come over here to start training camp over here. So things like that, definitely. If in the future I get one of my fighters, which we're actually already talking about having to come and fight in England against one of the champions here in England, then I'm gonna have to team up with this man and tell him to help me, because we already work together very well, and we definitely have to continue working together.
And Angel, in terms of the other fighters in the gym, so not AJ, Richard Akpol, Kieran Malloy, who you mentioned, and the other guy, Fraser Clark, of course, and also yourself as a trainer, how much of a benefit is it having Robert around to learn from, not just in the short term, but going forward?
It's great, he comes to all the sessions, when I'm training Fraser, when I'm training Richard, when I'm training Kieran, it's good to have a different eye, because sometimes as trainers, we can't know everything, he brings things, I bring things, and as long as the fighters are getting better, that's all it matters, because they're the main actors at the end of the day, we just have to support them, and I feel, as I said, absolutely honoured, to have him around me, and the fighters as well, because they just get better by day.
Robert, how are you liking the UK so far outside of the gym?
Well, I like it. We're staying in a small town, but it's nice. It's nice. I walk around town. I already met some people in town, and it's just better than I expected. Honestly, it's great to be here.
You're not staying at the pub, are you? That's where Dillian White used to stay when he trained at Loughborough.
I'm not sure. I'm staying at the university. We walk into town, and it's a small little town, but it's nice.
Before I let you guys go, each of you, if you give me just a prediction for the fight.
You know what? We're just gonna go out there, prepare ourselves, prepare AJ to come out and do what we're asking him to do. Obviously the fight is not easy, but we're doing whatever it takes to win.
Angel?
Winning by any means.
Any means necessary. Good stuff. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.